Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Covering both sides of the big issues with the analysis you trust on News Radio 1040 WHO.
WHO radio news team say they are reporting that 5 million Midwesterners are going to be hitting the road on July 4th and the July 4th weekend. And you'd expect maybe gas prices would be going up because we're talking, of course, about the conflict between Israel and Iran, but doesn't seem to be. So I thought I'd check in with my oil and gas man. That is R.T. Treviño. He is with Pecos Country Energy, and R.T. is back on the Davison Family Dentistry Newsmaker line. R.T., always good to talk with you. Good morning and welcome back to WHO.
Oh, good morning, and thank you for having me back.
So what's going on, RTV? You know, I mean, I would think if we're fighting with Iran that my gas prices are just going to go through the roof, you know, for the upcoming holiday, but it doesn't seem to be the case. What are you seeing in the industry?
Oh, we're seeing that calm again. It's real interesting. President Trump has recorded yesterday stating that he wants the oil prices low. And on over the weekend, we did see, obviously he dropped, or I say he, but we did have a mission in Iran, and it was very strategic that it was on a Saturday when none of the markets were open. So it's real interesting when we don't have any fear placed into the market.
I hadn't thought about that, RT. That is a great point. So you do it on a Saturday, you kind of assess that everything is okay. I mean, by Monday, you were right. All we were doing was assessing that we probably had a very successful mission over in Iran, and that caused the markets not to be spooked in your estimation. Am I right?
That's correct. You know, we did not see them get spooked because basically here in America, it was between 10 o'clock and 8 o'clock that this happened.
Yeah.
And the markets were not open on Saturday evening.
What did you think, RT, when the president did make a declaration? Don't you raise oil price? Don't you do it? Did his words actually have an effect?
You know, that's funny, Jeff, that you asked that question because I did actually do a little response to that on my social media. As anybody in oil and gas, I was like, oh, my gosh. But yet, as an oil and gas producer, what I heard was that we have a president and a man that understands that oil and gas is not going away.
Yeah.
And that if we can actually have a great, stable price, not only will private oil and gas companies like ours at Pecos Country Energy continue to thrive and make money, but the American economy will continue to thrive and grow. And that is what we want had to happen right now.
Well, and RT, the wish of every American, and I know you, is that when we have these entanglements with foreign nations, that we're producing enough of our own energy that it's not going to affect prices. So where are we at in an industry like yours, the oil and gas industry, and can we expect pretty stable gas prices for the near term?
You know, barring anything major, which I think I've said many times on your show before, we should still see pretty good oil and gasoline prices for the summer. Obviously, we're a lot lower than we were last year, and we're already back at pre-Israel-Iran conflict pricing. And we are still producing almost 14 million barrels of oil a day, Jeff, and it's because of the hard-working men and women in the oil and gas industry that oil prices did not spike higher during that conflict that was going on before the ceasefire. And it is because of the 14 million barrels of oil a day that America produces that OPEC and them do not have all the control that they used to have.
Well, and that's it. That's what we're wondering, RT, is if we're at that point. You know, the president is still saying, drill, baby, drill. He just said it on social media again a few days ago. Is that happening?
It is getting close. And usually, and when Donald Trump means drill, baby, drill, he's also talking about build, baby, build.
Yeah.
We have to get the infrastructure built here in America, update our infrastructure so that not only can our oil get from A to B, but also more natural gas can get from A to B. And also, the more we do produce in America, the better we're going to economically fight OPEC and continue to just thrive, not only in America, but around the world.
Nothing I like better than doing an optimistic segment on gas prices. That's my oil and gas man down in Texas, RT. RT, I'm about to let you go, but I was just talking to my son down in Austin yesterday about the heat. How is it where you are in Texas?
Oh, here in Texas, it's still getting warm up here in Fort Worth. I think we almost hit 100 yesterday.
Woo! Yep. And unfortunately, in Iowa, we're having some Texas-sized heat as well. RT, always great to hear from you on these really important issues. Have a fantastic remainder of the week, and we'll talk to you again soon.